Welcome to another Adobe Script tutorial. In the last video, we made a simple interface. We'll add more to the script and make it do some actual work. This time, the script will be specific to InDesign. The goal is to export a PDF for each document in the folder selected. To begin, I've copied the code from the last video into a new document named Adobe Script Tutorial 2. The first thing I want to do is create a new variable named title. Var title equals Adobe Script Tutorial 2. I'll use this when creating the window in place of the actual text, because I want to use it again for an alert when the script is done. That way, when the title changes, we only have to change it once. Down below, after calling the process function, I'll add the alert to let us know the script is done. You've probably used the alert method many times, usually with simply the text to display. But there are more arguments available. The second argument is the title. On Mac OS, it's not used, but it is on Windows. If you don't supply a title, the window title is Script Alert. Let's make it nice and show the script name. The third argument is also optional. If true, it puts up an error icon and makes an error sound. The default is false, so it's fine to omit. But if you want to alert an error, set this to true. Now let's add to the interface. To export PDFs, there should be a choice of PDF preset to use. For this, I'll use a new interface control, the drop-down list. But first, add a variable to hold the preset names. Var PDF preset names. And a variable for the new interface control. Var list PDF presets. Then, before defining the interface, get the PDF preset names from the app object. PDF preset names equals app PDF export presets, every item, name. This returns an array of the preset names. After the input folder and before the OK and Cancel buttons, add a new panel. We don't need to remember the first panel assigned to the variable P, so I'll reuse P. But this time, give the panel a title, the third argument after undefined size. P equals W add panel undefined options. Next, add a group so the text label and drop-down list are side by side. G equals P add group. In the group, first is the text label. G add static text undefined PDF preset, colon. Then the list. List PDF presets equals G add drop-down list undefined PDF preset names. The third argument is the array of preset names which we created earlier. This is also known as the list items. Now run the script and see how it looks. Okay, the new panel and drop-down appear, but I don't care for how the two panels are different widths. Here's how to fix that. After defining the window, add to it the property Align Children, set to Fill. This means use all available space, making panels the same width as whichever one is the widest. That fixed the panel width, but notice it made the OK and Cancel buttons move to the left. Because I made a mistake in the last video. I meant to set the group's alignment property to center, not its Align Children property. Actually, setting that property wasn't needed, because by default, window elements align center. But now the window property Align Children is set to Fill, so that default is overridden. And because the group alignment is inherited from the window, it too is now set to Align Fill. So change the property to Alignment set to Center. That overrides the window align children for this one child element. Now the buttons are back to centered. But one more thing. I want the drop-down list to the left, like the folder button. So align that group left. G, alignment, equals left. Good. Now it all looks how I want. The drop-down list works, but there's another problem. The order is jumbled. That's sure to annoy anyone using the script. To fix it, after building the array of preset names, call the array sort method. PDF preset names sort. That's better. Okay, we have the interface done. Time to make the script do some work. All it takes is writing out the process function. First, some variables. var doc, var file PDF, var files, var I, and var PDF preset. Now get the actual PDF preset chosen in the drop-down list. PDF preset equals app, PDF export presets, item, list PDF presets, selection, text. The PDF export presets method, item, wants a string, the name of the preset. So pass to it the list selection property text, which is a string of the preset name selected in the list. Next, we want to ignore messages that might appear when opening documents. App, script preferences, user interaction level equals user interaction levels, never interact. Documents remember which pages were exported last. We need to override that to make sure all pages are exported. App, PDF export preferences, page range equals page range, all pages. Now let's make an array of all files in the selected folder. Files equals new folder, txt folder input, text, get files. Create a new folder using the text value of the selected input folder, which is the path to the folder. Then call the folder method getFiles. But we only want InDesign files, so add the file matching pattern star.indd and return the result to the variable files, an array of file objects. Now we just have to loop through the files array. Open the file, doc equals app open, files I. Create a new file object for the PDF and assign it to the variable file PDF equals new file, files I, full name, replace, .indd at the end of the line, I, empty string, plus .pdf. For now, we'll put the PDFs in the same folder as the document. Get the file property full name, which includes the path and file name. Remove the INDD extension using a regular expression. Match a dot, then INDD, but only at the end of the string, signified by the $sign. I've added the I switch, meaning case insensitive. That way, INDD in caps also matches. Then add the PDF extension in its place. Now export the PDF. Doc, export file, export format, PDF type, file PDF, false, PDF preset. The export format is PDF, and the second argument is the file object we just made. Third is whether to show the export dialog. False, and it doesn't appear. Last is the PDF preset to use, which we pulled from the drop-down list. And finally, close the document and pass to the close method the instruction not to save it. That's it. Now try the script. Select a folder of InDesign documents. Click OK and let the script do its work. At this point, the script doesn't offer any feedback, so we don't know if it's doing anything. It is, just wait a bit. There's the first document opened and now exporting. In videos to come, we'll add user feedback to the script so we know it's working. And finally, the script is done. There it is, a PDF for each document in the folder. The script accomplishes the goal, but it could be better. Keep this code, because next time we'll add a progress bar and more. Subscribe so you're notified of upcoming videos, and like this one if you found it helpful. Also, leave a comment. What do you want accomplished with Adobe Scripts? For which application? Your suggestions help me decide the topics to feature in future videos. Thanks for watching.